second body F2.
Limitations one by one. Okay, so what is the first limitation? First limitation is Newton's first law and Newton's second law do not hold correct for the accelerated or rotating frame of reference. Okay, because Newton's law or the law of inertia, the Newton's first law is law of inertia. Okay, the law of inertia only holds for the stationary frames. Okay, frame of reference. What is frame of reference? I already told in the first lecture. Okay, so whatever may be the laws of the Newton's that is Newton's first law or Newton's second law, they hold only for the stationary frame of reference, or they hold only the frame of reference which are moving with uniform velocity or at rest. ऐसे फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस जो रेस्ट में है और मूव कर रहे यूनिफॉर्म मोशन में, वहीं पर न्यूटन्स लॉ सेकेंड लॉ और फर्स्ट लॉ होल्ड होता है. इफ सपोज फ्रेम ऑफ रेफरेंस इज मूविंग विद सर्टन वेलोसिटी, if the frame of reference is moving with certain acceleration, okay, it means that the velocity of frame of reference is changing with the time. It means that the frame of reference is in the acceleration. So for that frame of reference, Newton's laws of motion does not hold. Okay, Newton's laws of motion does not hold for the accelerated or rotating frame of reference. If frame of reference moving with certain velocity means velocity is changing with the time. If frame of reference possesses acceleration, and that frame of reference, okay, in that frame of reference, Newton first and Newton second law do not hold. Okay, so Newton's laws only valid for the stationary frame of reference, okay, or the frame of reference which are at rest or moving with the uniform velocity. If frame of reference is moving with uniform velocity or is at rest, then the Newton's law is valid. Okay, if the frame of reference is changing their velocity, okay, it means that the frame of reference having certain rotation or acceleration, in that frame of reference Newton's first and second law does not valid. Okay, this is the first limitation of the Newtonian mechanics. And what is the second limitation? Second limitation is Newton's third law of motion is not correct when forces acting at a distance between the forces and actions cannot travel faster than light. If suppose two particles are at a finite distance, okay, finite distance, so the force acting on both the particles should not be equal to the force responsible for the Newton's third law of motion. Okay, when when the two particles are at a finite distance or at a certain distance, they are not close, they are not very close. Okay, so so there is the forces acting on these particles is not equal and opposite. It means they do not hold the Newton's third law of motion, because there is the certain reaction and action. Okay, action and reaction. Okay, action and reaction law means Newton's third law of motion. To an every opposite reaction there is equal and opposite. To an every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. But if the particles are at a certain distance, if two particles are very far, okay, far from each other, okay, so the force acting on this particle is not equal and opposite, because the forces or action cannot travel faster than light. Light से ज़्यादा स्पीड से कोई ट्रैवल नहीं कर सकता क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स में, इसलिए न्यूटन थर्ड लॉ ऑफ मोशन वैलिड नहीं रहेगा if the particles are at distance, at a finite distance. Their forces are not equal and opposite. Okay, so this is the second limitation. First limitation, it is not valid for accelerated frame of reference. Second limitation is the third law is not valid when the particles are at a certain distance. Okay, what is the third limitation? In Newtonian mechanics, the equation of motion always involve the vector quantities like forces and momentum, and this also involve the forces of constraint. Okay, so Newtonian mechanics, अब तक हमने Newton's law देखा, we have studied the Newtonian mechanics. So in Newtonian mechanics we have concentrated on the term force, momentum, and force and momentum has vector quantity, because force has a certain direction, momentum has a certain direction, so that's why force and momentum has vector quantity. So we have dealt with the vector quantities in Newtonian mechanics, and with that vector quantity one problem is there. What is the problem associated with the vector quantities? The vector quantities always associated with the forces of constraint. And what is the forces of constraint? Forces of constraint means the forces which restrict the motion of the body. जैसे कोई फोर्स अगर किसी बॉडी के मोशन को रेस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहा है, लिमिट कर रहा है, तो उसको क्या बोलेंगे? फोर्सेस ऑफ कंस्ट्रेंट. फॉर एग्जांपल, अगर मैंने स्टूडेंट को बोला कि स्टूडेंट यू शुड रिमेन इनसाइड द क्लासरूम, मैं उसको क्लासरूम के बाहर जाने नहीं दे रहा हूं. सो मैं क्या कर रहा हूं? स्टूडेंट्स को, उस स्टूडेंट के मोशन को रिस्ट्रिक्ट कर रहा हूं क्लासरूम के अंदर, उसको बाहर जाने नहीं दे रहा हूं. ओके, आई एम नॉट अलाउिंग दैट स्टूडेंट टू गो आउटसाइड. इट मींस दैट आई एम रिस्ट्रिक्टिंग दैट स्टूडेंट. So you should remain inside the classroom. It means I am restricting that motion of the student inside the classroom. If I am imposing that restriction, if I am imposing that restriction to the motion of students, so that restriction is called constraint, and I am restricting the force of that student. Okay, and I am restricting the motion of that student, so this is called forces. The force which restrict the motion of the body, the force which restrict the motion of the particle, that is called forces of constraint. Okay, so in Newtonian mechanics the quantities are vector quantities, and vector quantities are always associated with the forces of constraint. Forces of constraint mean the forces which restrict the motion of the bodies, that is called forces of constraint. So in Newtonian mechanics always vector quantities are involved, and these vector quantities associated with the forces of constraint, and forces of constraint are not good for the system. So that's why there are the three limitations associated with the Newtonian mechanics and Newtonian's laws. So that's why we need to move forward, we need to move further. So that's why the Lagrangian mechanics has come. Okay, these drawbacks or these limitations associated with the Newton's program or Newtonian mechanics can be overcome with the help of Lagrangian mechanics. So what are the advantages of Lagrangian mechanics? We need to see. There are certain drawbacks associated with the न्यूटन के फंडे में ड्रॉबैक्स थे, इसलिए लैग्रेंजियन ने क्या किया? अपना एक सिस्टम डेवलप किया, दैट इज कॉल्ड लैग्रेंजियन मैकेनिक्स. सो व्हाट आर द एडवांटेज ऑफ लैग्रेंजियन मैकेनिक्स? वी विल सी. ओके, सो we'll see the Lagrangian advantages of Lagrangian mechanics. Okay, so there are certain limitations associated with the Newtonian mechanics. That's why we need to move further for Lagrangian mechanics. So what are the advantages of Lagrangian mechanics? I already told that the Newtonian mechanics deals with the vector quantities, but Lagrangian mechanics deals with the scalar quantities. Okay, so it involves the scalar quantities. तो Lagrangian mechanics में दो चीजों पे ज्यादा फोकस किया गया, एनर्जी पे. Okay, and energies are scalar quantity. So it involves the scalars like potential energy and kinetic energy instead of vectors. Okay, so Newtonian mechanics में vectors पे ज्यादा जोर दिया गया था, Lagrangian mechanics में एनर्जी पे ज्यादा जोर दिया है. कौन सी एनर्जीज पे? पोटेंशियल एंड काइनेटिक एनर्जी. ओके, लैग्रेंजियन इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन, और जो भी लैग्रेंजियन ने जो भी इक्वेशंस दिए दे आर इनवेरिएंट. इनवेरिएंट मींस कांस्टेंट. वो मोशन इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशंस क्या होते हैं? कांस्टेंट होते हैं, चेंज नहीं होते, दे आर नॉट चेंजेबल. ओके, तो लैग्रेंजियस इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशन आर इनवेरिएंट whether we are use the Cartesian coordinate system, polar coordinate system or spherical coordinate system. हम कोई भी coordinate system ले, हम अगर मान लो कि कार्टेशियन कोऑर्डिनेट्स मतलब एक्स वाई जेड वाला सिस्टम ले, पोलर कोऑर्डिनेट्स मतलब आर थीटा फाई वाला, अगर स्फेरिकल कोऑर्डिनेट्स आर थीटा वाला सिस्टम ले, ओके, या थीटा फाई वाला सिस्टम ले, आर थीटा फाई वाला सिस्टम ले, पोलर कोऑर्डिनेट्स, ओके, या स्फेरिकल कोऑर्डिनेट्स, जो भी कोऑर्डिनेट्स होंगे, कोऑर्डिनेट्स कुछ भी रहो, उसमें एंगल इन्वॉल्व रहो कि पोजीशन इन्वॉल्व रहो, दे आर इनवेरिएंट. ओके, सो लैग्रेंजियन इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशंस आर इनवेरिएंट इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम. कौन सा कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम हम यूज कर रहे हैं? कार्टेशियन है, पोलर है, या स्फेरिकल कोऑर्डिनेट्स यूज कर रहे हैं? ये सारे के सारे अगर कोऑर्डिनेट्स, कोई भी कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम हम यूज किए, सारे के सारे कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम में, इन ऑल कोऑर्डिनेट सिस्टम्स द लैग्रेंजेस इक्वेशन ऑफ मोशंस आर इनवेरिएंट। लेकिन ऐसा न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स के साथ होगा क्या? नहीं होगा। ओके, सो दीज आर दी टू एडवांटेजेस। स्केलर का यूज कर रहे हैं हम Lagrangian system में, we are using the scalar quantities, that is potential and kinetic energies, and we are using the Lagrange's equation of motion, and they are invariant, unchanged, irrespective of coordinate system, irrespective of coordinate transformation. Okay, and what is the third main advantages is the Lagrangian mechanics put emphasis on energy and work. Lagrangian mechanics energy और work के साथ ज्यादा डील करता है rather than the force, but Newtonian mechanics deals with the force maximum. Newtonian mechanics is based on the quantity force, but the Lagrangian mechanics deals with the energy and work. Okay, the Lagrangian mechanics deals with the energy and work. And fourth one is it expressed in generalized coordinates which do not have to refer directly to the position or displacement of the actual particle. So what is generalized coordinates? We'll see in the next slide. Just you have to remember that Lagrangian mechanics deals with the generalized coordinates, and Newtonian mechanics deals with the position and displacement coordinates. Okay, positional and displacement, but these generalized coordinates, Lagrangian mechanics deals with the generalized coordinates. What is generalized coordinates? I will tell you in the next slide. Just you have to remember on this slide, the Lagrangian mechanics deals with the generalized coordinates. Okay, and that generalized coordinates is slightly different from the position and displacement of actual particle, and that directly not related to the position and displacement. But in Newtonian mechanics, the particles position and displacements are very important. But in Lagrangian mechanics, the generalized coordinates, okay, which do not directly refer to the position and displacement of the particles, that is important. Okay, तो generalized coordinates के साथ deal करता है Lagrangian mechanics. Okay, and last one is every symmetry in this mechanics is conserved. Every symmetry means you might have studied about the symmetry, rotation symmetry, reflection symmetry, inversion symmetry, जितने भी symmetry, crystal symmetry, okay, at symmetry related to the particles, all symmetries are conserved in this Lagrangian mechanics. All symmetries is conserved in the Lagrangian mechanics, okay, but not in Newtonian mechanics. So there are 5 main points or 5 main advantage of Lagrangian mechanics over Newtonian mechanics. In Lagrangian mechanics deals with the scalar quantities like potential and kinetic energy. Lagrangian mechanics, Lagrangian equation is invariant irrespective of any coordinate transformation. Lagrangian mechanics deals with the work and energy instead of force. Rather the Newtonian mechanics deals with the force. In Lagrangian mechanics, generalized coordinates are very important. Okay, what are generalized coordinates? I will tell you in the next slide. And in Lagrangian mechanics, symmetry is conserved. Symmetry of the particle is conserved in Lagrangian mechanics. Okay, so these are the advantage of the Lagrangian mechanics. Okay, now we will see what are the generalized coordinates. Okay, I have told that the advantages of Lagrangian mechanics. Now you need to know about the generalized coordinates. Okay, generalized coordinates means some variables, small number of variables which describe this configuration of the system, which describe the configuration. If suppose some body is moving, okay, if body is moving, if I want to determine this position or this velocity of the body or this motion of that body, I require certain coordinates. So generalized coordinates means small number of coordinates, small number of variable which describe the motion of the particle. Okay, which describe the motion of the body. Okay, if suppose pendulum, okay, pendulum is rotating. Okay, if suppose pendulum is in motion, okay, it is moving in simple harmonic motion. So what is the generalized coordinates? Angle theta, because pendulum is moving with the angle theta, it possessing angular SHM. If pendulum is moving, it means that the angle is changing. Which angle is changing? That theta, angular displacement. It is moving in particular angle. So theta is the generalized coordinate. Okay, if body is moving in x direction. Okay, if body is moving, body is having x linear displacement x. So what is generalized coordinate? X. If body is rotating in an angle theta, so what is generalized coordinates? Theta. Okay, so generalized coordinates are the small number of variables which describe the motion of the particle or the body or motion of the configuration. So consider the system of n particles. Okay, consider the system of n particles. So the position vectors of particle can be represented in the form of these particular equation. So look at this equation. Ri is the position vector of the particle. So Ri can be the function of q and t, time. Q and time. Okay, q and time. Okay, Ri is the position vector. Okay, position vector of the particles. So Ri is the function of q and t. Okay, q and t, and q, the value of q is q1, q2 up to qk up to qn. Okay, time. Okay, so position vector of the particle is the function of q and t. So this quantity q is called generalized coordinates. The quantity q is called generalized coordinates. Okay, so the t is time and the quantity, that is this quantity is q1, q2 up to qk up to qn. These quantities are generalized coordinates. In Lagrangian mechanics we use these quantities. We will use these quantities in the Lagrangian mechanics. So these quantities are called generalized coordinates. q1, q2, qk up to qk up to qn. K is equal to 1 to n. Okay, so this quantity, this q is called generalized coordinates, and these quantities q1, q2 up to qk up to qn are called generalized coordinates. So these generalized coordinates required to describe the motion in Lagrangian mechanics. Okay, if suppose we will take the time derivative, if we will take the derivative of q, then it will become generalized velocities. Q is required to describe the position. Q is required to describe q and time. Q and time is required to describe the position of the particle. Ri is the position vector. So Q are the generalized coordinates which describe the position of the particle. So q1, q2 up to qn, they are called generalized coordinates. Okay, so that is related to the position vector. If we take the derivative of position vector, then it will become velocity. So derivative of q is velocities. So that is called generalized velocity. If we take the derivative of q, it will become generalized velocity. If we take double derivative of q, that will become generalized acceleration. Okay, so this, if we take the derivative of q, then it becomes generalized velocities. So qk dot matlab velocity, this is I am taking derivative. Dot means what? Derivative. So dqk by dt, time derivative. Okay, dot is represented for derivative. If I am taking the derivative of qk, so then it becomes generalized velocity, or the value of k is 1 to n. Okay, if q1, q2, q3 are generalized coordinates related to the position vectors. If I am taking the derivative of q, then it will become generalized velocity. Okay, as same as if I take the derivative of position vector, then it will become velocity. So if I take the derivative of generalized coordinates q1, q2, q3, q2, q4 up to qk, then it will become generalized velocity. Okay, so derivative of q is become generalized velocity. Okay, so you have to remember that the position of the particle can be represented in the form of generalized coordinates, and generalized coordinates mean q1, q2 up to qk up to qn. These quantities are called generalized coordinates, and if I take the derivative of generalized coordinates, we'll get generalized velocities or generalized velocity. So these are the generalized coordinates. Okay, so I hope you have understood the concept related to the generalized coordinates or generalized velocities. Okay, now we will see some Lagrangian. What is Lagrangian? Okay, we will see what is the Lagrangian equation. Okay, because we in Newtonian mechanics we have studied the Newton's laws of motion and equation related to that. Now in Lagrangian mechanics we will study the Lagrange's equation and the Lagrangian of the system. Okay, so in this by moving forward we will see the equation related to the Lagrange's mechanics. Okay, so first of all we have to define the we will see what are the Lagrange's equation, or how can we write the Lagrange's equation. Okay, so before writing the Lagrange's equation you should know that the Lagrangian, what is Lagrange, Lagrangian होता क्या है, Lagrangian function क्या होता है, ये पता होना चाहिए. Okay, so before going through the Lagrange's equation you should know that what is Lagrangian function. Okay, so Lagrangian function means L. L means Lagrangian function. So what is the definition of L? L means the energy difference. Lagrangian function means L, and L can be represented by T minus V, TV. TV. If you have to remember the equation of Lagrangian function, you have to remember the television, TV. That's why L is equal to T minus V. T means kinetic energy and V is potential energy. So Lagrangian function means TV, T minus V. So Lagrangian function can be defined as L is equal to T minus V. T means kinetic energy, V means potential energy. T means kinetic energy and V means potential energy. The difference between kinetic and potential energy is Lagrangian function L. Okay, now what is the Lagrangian equation? So Lagrangian equation, we can write the Lagrangian equation in the form of L. Okay, Lagrangian function. So Lagrangian equation can be written in the form of L, capital L. Okay, so what is the Lagrangian equation? So in generalized coordinate, the Lagrangian equation for conservative system can be written in this form. They go d dt d by dt in bracket del L by del QK dot in bracket minus del L by del QK. QK is generalized coordinates and K is equal to 1 to N. So this is the Lagrangian equation for conservative system. This is the Lagrangian equation for conservative system where L is the Lagrangian function. And what is the formula of L? L is nothing but T minus V. What is L? L is nothing but T minus V. Okay, so the formula for L is T minus V. Okay, so d by dt delta L by del QK dot in bracket minus over del QK dot means that is generalized velocity, QK dot differentiation of Q with respect to T. Okay, that's why this is QK dot minus del L by del QK is equal to 0. So you have to remember this Lagrange's equation for conservative system, and Qk are generalized coordinates and L is the Lagrangian function which is nothing but T minus V. Okay, so this Lagrangian equation in terms of generalized coordinates Qk. Okay, in terms of Qk, I have written this equation in terms of Qk. Okay, if suppose a particle moving only one direction, x direction, one dimension, if particle is moving in x direction, so what will be the Lagrange's equation? Just replace Qk by x. Okay, if particle is moving in x direction, if the particle moving in x direction means its generalized coordinate will be x. So what is here in this is general equation. In this general equation, what is generalized coordinates? Qk and Qk dot. If the particle moving only one direction, x. Okay, so we can replace generalized coordinates by x. Okay, so for the particle moving in one dimensional, just replace Qk by x and Qk dot by x dot. Okay, so in form of x, Lagrangian equation in one dimensional for conservative system, if suppose particle is moving in x direction with only one parameter, x parameter, one dimensional, so the Lagrange's equation can be written in place of Qk, just write x. Okay, and the whole equation is same, just you have to replace the generalized coordinates by x. So in place of Qk I am replacing x, in place of Qk dot I am replacing x dot. So d by dt and d by dt in bracket del L by del x dot minus del L by del x is equal to 0. So this is the Lagrangian equation for 1D system when particle moving only in one direction. So this is the Lagrange's equation for the particle moving in only one direction, one dimension. If suppose particle is rotating with the angle theta, if suppose there is a simple pendulum and having angular displacement theta, so you can write this Lagrange's equation in form of theta also. You can write this Lagrange's equation in the form of theta also. So just replace x by theta. So this Lagrange's equation can be represented in the form of theta. Okay, so this Lagrange's equation in form of theta you can write as this. D by dt, just replace x by theta. So d by dt del L by del theta dot minus del L by del theta is equal to 0. So this is the Lagrange's equation in form of theta. This is the Lagrange's equation in form of x. Okay, so you have to remember these two equations in form of x and in form of theta. So these are the Lagrange's equation in form of theta and this is the Lagrange's equation in the form of x, and this is the general Lagrange's equation, okay, in form of generalized coordinates qk. Okay, and this is the Lagrange's function L is equal to t minus v. Okay, so this is enough for